Hey there, friendlies. How's up? I'm hoping that everyone's having a good Tuesday night. I'm hoping that everyone can hear me just fine. And I'm hoping that everyone is just as happy can be. Or as the theme song to My Neighbor Totoro goes, we're happy as can be. I also hope that everyone has heard my fabulous drumming and all that. Let me see. Got some people in the house tonight. But before we do that, I'm going to get my spring cleaning, house cleaning out of the way. So I'll just start by saying, hey there, friendlies, how's up? Welcome to the latest in my live stream series. What do we got? We got beer, we got blades, and we're going to talk about something bushcrafty related tonight. If you happen to be watching us time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next year or next month or whatever, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting down below. It makes me feel all warm to know that those eyes are on the live stream even after the fact. If at any point tonight you really like what's going on, I invite you to hit that smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you kind of hate what's going on, that's okay. The frowny thumb works as well. And if you would like to take a more active role in supporting the channel, like several people in the side chat here already have, I invite you to look at wherever they've put the join button now. Click on that and you'll see that there are 2 tiers, and you'll get a little explanation of what each tier gets you. What both tiers get you is my undying gratitude for helping me to make the channel better and continue to bring you guys hopefully better and better content. So, do I say hi first or do I pour the beer first? Let's pour the beer. So the beer tonight is by Brasserie Mille or Mille Brewery. Mille means 1,000 Islands, but this isn't in 1,000 Islands. They are in Terrebonne. So it's about an hour or 2 drive from Montreal. Local enough for me. The hop used in this beer is Nugget. This is a English pale brown. What? Oh, those are the malts. What is this? It's an English brown ale. I will put it next to my face so that it comes into focus, because the camera is terrific, but it's not smart enough to, whatevs, right? Whatevs. Let's pop this baby open. It is, I believe, 473 mils, and yes, and it is 5.3% alcohol by volume. So, very much a standard beer. Standard Canadian beer, anyway. I don't know what beers from other countries tend to standardize at. I know Guinness is 4%. I know Coors Light is piss water. You see, that was unkind. This beer a little old, maybe? Let's just check it out. Oh, yeah. It's losing its life a little bit. Because I don't drink very often, it's not unheard of for a beer to just sort of... Yeah. So its best before date was the 26th of September. That doesn't mean that it's gone all poisonous or anything. It just means that it sort of started to lose its effervescence. For the whiskey at 10, if Al is not here, it's going to be that the Teeling single malt is for the live stream on the other channel. The Teeling small batch, which is delicious. I don't need to pour that right now because it's only a 3-year. Should I pour it just to let it breathe? No, let's get on to the hellos and all that stuff, because that's the goods. How is my sound? I knocked my my volume knob while setting up, and so I put it back to where I kind of thought it was. But if I'm like crackling and peaking, let me know in the side chat. If I'm too quiet, let me know in the side chat. So who we got? We had Excuse Me right up front at 8:45. I said hi. Interesting question. Is it ever too early to turn on your Christmas lights? Oh, you know what? In my house, it is. My wife and I have had this discussion. To me, nothing Christmassy goes up until after November 11th. That's Remembrance Day in the Commonwealth. It's a day of remembrance. We have parades. There's a lot of prayer. I'm not a God guy very much, but it's a very somber event. I know down in the States, you guys celebrate something, which is jarring. But anyways, and so to me, especially because I have um, service people in my family, I feel that it's disrespectful to do Christmas before Remembrance Day. But as of November 12th in this household, all bets are off. We have not yet put anything up though. Who else do we got? We got Sharon Q in the house. Hey there, Sharon. And please note, Sharon Q's got a little membership logo next to her name, which means, say it with me, people, personal hero. Grace Martin. Hi, how's it going? Excuse me, is saying hi to them. We got Russell. Now this is all before I even came on. What? Russell saying that I'm sharpening my internet. I totally was. That's absolutely what I was doing. Polishing the Ethernet cables. Absolutely. He knows. He knows. Dusting his mic. See, the guy knows because he's done this before, so he knows. Maybe. Actually, Russell does the shots. I do a dram. I say, man, could you imagine a shot glass that size? Pound, put it on the table, and just fall right off your chair. There we go. He hears the drums. Yeah, I do need a trailer. I don't have any time, but I do have an idea of doing a trailer. I would record like 30 seconds, I guess, of the drum tippity tap, and then do some like a montage or something. Countdown from 30 to 1, well, to 0 to showtime. It's been a really rough week, guys. I'm so done with this week. But hey, I'm live streaming. That makes everything better. Red Destiny's in the house. Please note, little membership logo there. So what am I going to say? Is anyone saying it with me? Personal hero? Your own personal little drummer boy. That's a pretty good song, though. That's a pretty solid song. My wife and I have had this conversation, too, because she's an elder millennial and I'm Gen X. And I think that this really plays into it. What our tastes in movies are very dissimilar in terms of the speed at which the clip at which they go, and our views on what makes a perfect Christmas song are wildly different. I like the old guys, the crooners. I like Bing. I like carols. Maybe a little Burl Ives. I can maybe handle Mariah Carey if I've had several cups of eggnog with the brandy in. But she likes much more modern, like 80s and out kind of stuff. I wish I'd gotten to that beer a lot sooner because I think that this is a really good beer when it hasn't started to go flat, but it's really letting me down right now. If I was at Russell's, I would throw it off the balcony. What a night. Darth in the house. How's it going, Mr. Vader? Lord Vader, how many days until Christmas? Please don't tell me. It's just going to stress me out. Kristen in the house, also a channel member. In the Web Lord in the house as well, also a channel member. Russell, by the way, is also a channel member. Country Boy is here. What you saying? Good evening. It was hard to step away from Canoe House Live, but I did it for Jess. You're a good man. I'm going to be watching that tomorrow. How is it tonight? It looks like he's got some interesting guests on. Yeah, that's really letting me down. Oh. Thank the gods. I have tea. Tea's a good drink. You guys knew I was going to say that. Hey there, Linda. How's it going? Everyone's just saying hi to each other. Whiskey Harbor, how's it going? Nice to see you. It's interesting that one of you asked about, was it Excuse Me, asked about if it's too early to put out the Christmas lights, because I have a couple of questions for you folk. I got some questions for you good folk. Everyone's still saying hi to each other. So many hellos. You guys are just such good friends. Canadian, look at that. He's popping in with a whiskey and sunglasses, giving me the hands up. Not the hands up. Hands up, baby, hands up. The thumbs up. So if Canadians here, it's a party. Yeah, that beer's. Ugh. Raspberry Rock hasn't seen Newcastle in years. I think I saw Newcastle relatively recently, but I'm not sure. I'm sure I saw it recently. That might have been on tap though. Hike with Mike. How's it going? Look at this great crew we got with us here. Oh man, Peanut Trucker in the house. How are you doing, mister? You on the mend? Here's hoping. Here's hoping. Chris was it oral surgery? We're not gonna get into details. It's not my business to not my business to go hanging your stuff out on the interwebs. Just let me know if you're doing okay. I need new glasses, guys. This is horrible. I need new glasses. Where are you guys getting a Christmas tree emoji? Yeah, you were out. That's what I saw. And it's good to see you up and around, man. It was a rough time, but it's good to see you on the mend. Yes, I echo Christy's where is there? If you like what's happening here, if you like seeing me try to read stuff on the screen and saying hi to everyone, if that's your idea of a good Tuesday night, then please hit that thumbs up. Just taking a look. Destiny is asking what tonight's topic is. I have a half topic, okay? And Krista puts her Christmas trip after Labor Day, but you decorate for fall, your favorite time of year, mine as well, and you add fall flowers to the tree. Then after Thanksgiving, I remove the fall stuff and put up Christmas decor. Now, if you did that in Canada, that would mean putting up Christmas decor in mid-October. Yeah, snows are coming. Absolutely, Jerry. Absolutely. Agnes, how's it going? Look at all these cool people. Chris has his Christmas lights up already. Yeah, that's the problem I'm having. It's gone flat and I'm not enjoying it. No. But I can tell that it would probably be delish if it hadn't gone. I am just trying to make sure that I'm not missing anyone. Like with Mike, you're sort of echoing what I think Christy was saying, although she has a tree up way before, but she doesn't. Yeah, I know exactly which. I think I know exactly the song you're talking about. Although I think they've got a couple of Christmas numbers, but there's one that I hear every year. Good old Mannheim Steamroller. Nobody knows that band except for like one or two songs that happened at specific times of the year. The first when I discovered Mannheim Steamroller, oh man, it must be 30. I don't know. I was young. My first time hearing them was a revelation, but it's not the kind of thing I can listen to a lot outside of very specific context. Russell bought eggnog. I have not yet bought the eggnog, but I did buy candy cane ice cream bars. You know what, Destiny? Beer versus whiskey, context driven. Whiskey gives me the fizz, but you can't drink a lot of it. Like I don't drink a lot of anything, right? Which is why, I get 3 sheets to the wind at the end of these live streams sometimes because I don't tend to drink a lot. I had already brought down a glass. Just means I need another beer. Um, I like beer at certain points of the day or the evening, and whiskey at different points of the day or evening. Like if I was sitting here snuggled up under a blanket with a roaring fire in a fireplace, I'm not having beer. That's a whiskey context for sure. If I'm sitting by a campfire by myself, next to a lake or a river or a beaver pond, that's beer up until a certain point. But excuse me, maybe my last drink of the evening, which would probably be my second drink of the evening, would be a whiskey. Like it's better for ending the day on, especially out in the woods. A whiskey goes so well with a campfire, whether it's a peated whiskey or not. Campfires and whiskey go together like kids and spam. I hate spam. Um, Russell, somebody asked if it was too early to put on the Christmas lights, and it just sort of steamrollered from there. Steamrollered, snowballed from there. Ah, the English. The English is very difficult. David's in the house. Please note also has a membership logo next to his name. So personal, freaking hero. Sharon is into the Sambuca tonight. Nice. Ike with Mike takes down the tree as quickly as possible after Christmas because the tree is just a cat toy for their 4 cats. When I used to have cats, 2 years a cat brought down our tree before Christmas. So I agree. Good old boreal forest. Now I'm getting all maudlin, pining for the pines. Oh, you can't stick around? It sucks, but that's all right. It's all right. Don't uh, don't feel that you have to. Don't feel that you have to hang out to the bitter end. It's good when you're around. It's sad when you're gone. But I do go on fairly late. Hey, look, Skip is here too. Oh, I like it. Oh, I like it. Look at all these people here. Everyone's just I know. I'm gonna get rid of the beer later. At some point, I'll just drink tea until then. Destiny's having Perrier on the rocks. Doesn't work as well for the song. Perrier on the rocks. Oh, I get it. Okay. All right, David. Yeah. Definitely don't use up your data for this. Excuse me is going to check out Mannheim Steamroller. Yep. Don't expect it to be. It's not exactly slam and dance music, but yeah, it's hurting me too. Absolutely. I I don't remember, but you're probably not wrong. There are definite metal elements. Absolutely. I do not like flavored eggnog, but or unless I'm adding the flavoring. Like I don't want to buy flavored eggnog. Eggnog is eggnog, and I will add something to it if I really need it. If 39 days, I've got to get on that shopping thing that I do so well. Christy, put a picture of the tree in Discord, but we'll put one. Get a better picture later. All right, good to know. I'll take a look. Just taking a look around. I don't really get it out before New Year's, just because the week between Christmas and New Year's is really high octane around here. Like I don't have time, but we get it out pretty damn fast after New Year's. Hey, Alan Bierhoff is here. You didn't miss anything good. I'm just yimmering and yammering and saying hi to everyone. We're sort of talking a little bit about Christmas and stuff like that. And at one point, when I'm finished saying hi to everyone, I'm gonna get to my questions. Um, Linda's having a Malbec tonight. Okay, bye, David. Have a good night. Hey, Cliff, how's it going? How's it going? Hey there, Rob. Nice. Okay, so I'm at the bottom. Okay, so I had this question for you guys. Relatively recently, I put up a post somewhere, maybe on my Facebook, the um, the channel's Facebook page, about the gift guide that I do every year. I don't think I did it last year. I took one of the COVID years off because I really didn't feel that it was appropriate to be trying to get people to buy things when many people were either sick or out of work. But what I had done the year before that, or maybe one year I didn't do one, and one year I did sort of like stocking stuffers, right? Um, so I've been furiously creating a list for this year's episode because I kind of want to get it out a little earlier than I usually do, although it still ain't out. Do you guys watch gift guides? Like, is it worth it for me to put out a gift guide probably before the last episode of my Russell visit series? Because I think I have maybe two more episodes after this Friday's in the Russell series. Maybe three. No, it looks maybe two, possibly. But like, do you guys watch the gift guide? Like, I watch every gift guide video that goes up related to what we do. I know Dennis put one up one year. Some people put one up one year and then never again. Some people do it a lot. But like, do I just watch them because I'm a gear hound, or do people actually watch gift guide videos? Like what I did was like I rewatched all of mine just to make sure that I'm not going to put like a repeat on there. But I haven't really done a deep dive into my analytics yet. Partly because for most of them, my channel was a whole lot smaller than it is now. So I don't know how useful the analytics really are. Like I'm still not at critical mass, but I mean, I don't know. Do you guys watch that stuff? Is it really useful, or do you enjoy that stuff? Like, is it maybe not useful, but you enjoy watching gift guides? You know, let me just. Excuse me says, "Hey, just try smelling salts. Take a whiff, and you won't be yawning." I don't even know what they're for. Do they perk you up? Fox hates the December holiday. Good to know. Destiny likes gift guide vids. So one person has. You know what? I'm gonna try to make a poll, but I can't do it here. I have to do that in the tube of views. So let me move this to the other screen. Okay, here I am. Can I make a start a poll? Okay, I'm about to ask my community, as Facebook says. I say, boom. Let's hope that that works well. Okay, so where was I? Where the heck was I? Okay, I was where Destiny was saying she likes gift guide vids. Alan is saying me too, but he's saying it to Cliff, who said he hates the December holiday. That's okay. Excuse me, he says something that's very true. Christmas is overrated in terms of commercialization. Yeah, I agree. I think that people who are all about what Christmas is really about and everything. No, I mean it would be great if Christmas was about all the traditional stuff like family and love for your fellow man and blah blah. But it's not. It's not. It is a commercial holiday at this point. I'm just gonna pour the whiskey for later. Let it breathe. Let it tone down. Let it become even more enjoyable. Um, so I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not crowing about that. I'm not happy about that, but it really is. It's about gifts and candy at this point, and I don't think we can save it. Hey, Sean in Alaska's here. How's it going, Sean? Nice to see you. Carol, hi, welcome. I just put up a little poll. See what you guys think, because the thing is, my Christmas gift guide videos are a lot of freaking work. Like researching this stuff beforehand. I mean, it like the first one was just, oh, this is 10 things I would love to get. And they're always things that I would love to have, because I feel that that brings a certain honesty to the gift guide for me. Like I don't want to put something up there just because it's popular, or you know, like I want to put up stuff there that I think is really cool. But it's a lot of work to do a gift guide, and I only really want to be doing it if it's bringing something to my community here. A man with a roof. Jerry's got his eyes on the prize. How many thumbs ups am I at versus how many people are watching? What do we got? How many people are watching right now? You know what's funny? On YouTube, I've got the screen open and it still says starting in 11 minutes. I think that maybe I should reload that page. Where was I? So we got what? 29 watching, 21 thumbs ups. Not too bad, but a couple of you guys are a little behind. Rums. Alan says, just showing this out, but Xander Budnick is only 18 subscribers away from hitting 500,000 on his channel. Wow. Okay. Oh, to have at least 10,000 in my case. Agnes does not know what a gift guide is, really. Well, hold on. Give me a couple of minutes to go to my studio, find my playlists, find the gift guides. Am I going to be able to just share this? Crumbs. That didn't work. Hold on, folks. This will hopefully not take too much longer. Why does it not let me share a playlist on PC when it will let me? Oh, yes, it will. Wow, that's too many clicks. That is too many steps. Agnes, I'm putting a link to my gift guides playlist. Thought I was, yes, okay, that worked. Just so that you know what I'm talking about. You don't have to watch it if you don't want. But it would make me feel really good if you did. Just kidding. I'm just moving some stuff around because I messed everything up to get those gift guides. Linda doesn't like Sambuca. That's good to know. Anyone else popping in while I'm scrambling around here? Excuse me, doesn't mind the commercialization. Yeah, I think that if you let it get to too much, you're just gonna Grinch your way through the holidays. That's not the way to do it, is it? Kristen has never heard of them. Are they on YouTube, these gift guide videos? Yeah, a lot of people are putting out gift guides every year. Tunes and tunes of people. We're also okay with a certain level of commercialization for Christmas. I'm just taking a look. Sean says that Christmas is what you make of it. I choose to make it about family, friends, and food. Am I at 10 o'clock yet? No, I've got a half hour. Disgusting. You know what? Go away. Go away. It has some cheese. My
Throw that shit out. Excuse me. Throw that beer out.
Russell's here.
Am I on? Throw that beer
Fox
out.
would be more interested in a whiskey guide. I might do that one year for my other channel. Right now, that channel is micro, though. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all.
Throw that beer out.
Oh, Jeff remembers the Sears Wish book.
Can
Those
you
are
hear
the
me,
days,
Jess?
eh? I'm just seeing if anyone has popped in.
Can you hear me?
Alan has reached age where if I can't eat it or wear it, I don't want it.
Can
Fair
anybody else
enough.
hear me? I think it's just Jess that can't hear me.
Russell says, and he is here, when I was a kid, I'd go through this year's wish book 100 times to make a list, and I would never get anything from my list. You and I have a very similar experience there. Absolutely. I do that nowadays with the Lee Valley catalog. Put little tags on stuff. Are you not hearing anything?
You hear me. You can't hear me.
I'm not hearing you, no. Hold on a second.
See if we can get this from the hand signals.
I'm scrolling to the bottom.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? You got the right earmuffs on?
I don't know. Check my settings.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jess's awesome live stream.
Say something.
Hi, Jess. Can you hear me now? So, Sean in Alaska.
Okay, now say something.
Really, really disappointed that you're not putting steel on your roof, Sean. But I totally get if you, I forget, you don't have the time or you don't have the money or you're just too dangerous. I forget exactly.
Okay, now say something.
And I get it.
Interesting. What the hell's going on here?
So I guess, Sean, that means you're not moving into your cabin before spring? Before spring? Is that right? Nice hieroglyphics. Am I blurry? Christy, am I blurry?
Okay, now I can hear.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
All I had to do was toggle because Windows is sentient and wants to piss me off.
Sean, is that the thing you just ran out of money? Because I would totally understand that. You probably just put a short load of money buying all your building materials. Oh, you're moving it anyway. So, Sean, are you? Sorry, Jess, we got talking about Sean's.
Yeah, that's fine.
Are you putting in a wood stove soon, Sean? Because you're gonna need that, right? Anyway, I'm sorry, Jess. What were you talking about?
I don't remember. But is Sean moving in?
Yeah, he just said
he's got a roof
is.
now, right?
He's not putting the steel on before winter. I guess he's put the plywood on. He's putting ice and water shield or something like that, and that's going to be it. But he says he's moving in anyway. So he can't afford the steel roof right now.
Well, that's probably never the cheapest part of a cabin building.
It's not cheap.
Oh, gas heat the first winter. Okay.
Okay. Well, propane.
Hey there, Cindy Squirrel Off Grid. How's it going? I don't think I recognize your name.
Hi, Cindy.
But I'm happy to see you popping in. Probably popped in just in time for to see me not hearing Russell, which is making me look really pro here.
The funny thing is, it probably won't be the worst part of this live stream.
I think it was She's a Blue commented on one of the previous live streams, like, why do you only ever have Russell on? Can other people come on? And I was like, yeah, if you're gonna, we used to have people on.
You used to when I first started coming to your live streams, you used to just drop the link into chat, and whoever wanted to come in could come in.
Yeah, but I stopped doing that because I had a couple of times where people were talking about, politics and guns, and I was like, can we like, so I don't do that anymore. But I think if anyone wants to pop in and chat with us a little bit, and not take us totally off the rails, then yeah, we can put the link out again.
Well, for select people.
Yeah, yeah. So should I end my poll, or should I leave it up for until like 10 o'clock or something?
Well, you got 20 votes. It doesn't hurt to leave it up for a while.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just remind
I
people
don't
every
think,
now and again to vote in the poll.
unless you want to do a new poll.
But what would I ask? What would I ask?
I can think of something.
Cindy says about 7 inches and currently -9. So that's
Cindy
imperial
screwed up.
and presumably metric. So I don't know what side of the border she's on. Cindy, where generally speaking? Oh, Cochrane, Ontario. Okay. I was about to say without getting in any way exact, like which province do you live in, kind of thing. So -9 and 7 inches. Jeez, I think it's 0 here right now.
Jeez, I didn't think Cochrane was that far north.
Sean says could join for a few. Okay, you know what? Okay, so I'll drop the invite in the
Okay.
side chat.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty far north. That's on the upper highway, Highway 11, that goes past Timmins and
Right.
all those places.
All right, Sean, I just dropped the link in the side chat.
Iroquois
If anyone
Falls,
does decide to,
BC.
to come on and join us, you know,
We will vet you first, though.
yeah, exactly, because we don't want to be.
We can't have two people like me on screen trying to be funny and shit, because that's like Ghostbusters crossing the streams.
Yeah, you don't
No,
cross the streams.
the universe will end.
You
There
kill the entire live stream. Hey,
it
Sean,
is.
how's it going?
Can't hear
Good.
you.
How are you guys?
Oh, you can
Oh,
hear
there
me.
you go.
He
Okay.
wasn't. He was being all Taoist. He was being quietist.
I just figured it'd be easier to answer questions here than it would be to type them.
Most important one. How excited are you?
I'm very fired up. It's pretty awesome. I'm closing the gables in this weekend, which means the first windows go in the cabin, and all the windows are in the cabin now, but they're just not installed. But I'll be installing windows more than likely this weekend on the loft in the back.
Nice.
So, how much more do you have to do before you're going to move in?
As soon as I get the gables closed in, I still want to wrap it on the outside with Tyvek because I haven't done anything as far as wrapping it yet. And then I'll start insulating. And I mean, in theory, as soon as I get the ceiling insulated, I could probably move in and then just keep going as I go. But the trailer's right here, and I don't have a full kitchen in the in the cabin yet. So I'll probably be going back and forth for the first month or so. But I'd like to. I'm going to sleep in there Christmas Eve. I'll be there. I'll be in there by Christmas.
Wow,
That's
nice.
good.
Yeah,
that's good. I moved in here when there was no insulation. Well, I had the floor insulated because I did that before I even did the subfloor. But I moved in. There was nothing here. In fact, I didn't even have the soffits in place. So cold air was just rushing into the cabin. So I quickly got those closed up. But yeah, I just had Tyvek on. I think I had the windows. No, I moved in before the windows were even in.
Oh wow.
What were you gonna say, Jess?
I was gonna say your context was a little different though. Weren't you living in a tent aside from the cabin?
Yeah, I was living in the shelter.
Yeah.
But so I did have the wood stove in. So I mean, that's a big thing, mate.
And I'm just gonna. So I'm buying a larger version of the Buddy heater that I have right now. They have like 4 or 5 different sizes, and then they have a big size that basically will heat up to like 600 square feet, which is actually right around my cabin size when it's done, including the loft. So
yeah. Are you gonna put in a fireplace or a wood stove though?
Yeah, I'm looking for. I'm gonna buy a used one, and I'm just looking for the one that I want. There's a ton of them for sale up here, but none of them have glass doors. And if I'm going to put a fire in, I want to be able to see the fire through the glass. So it has to have glass doors for me.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Russell's has glass door.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, though.
it's nice because I like the light that gives off. You know, the sort of the living light.
Well, and I think, and I know it's just totally psychological, but I think they're warmer because you see the flame.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're warmer for the soul.
Right. But I'll tell you what, putting that roof on was the most difficult physical thing I think I've ever done in my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was ridiculous. I hurt when I put the first half on last Wednesday. I hurt so bad when I climbed off of that roof. It took 2.5 hours and copious amounts of beer to get the pain away.
Right.
And then
right.
it was ridiculous. And because while I had a couple of guys on the ground that were cutting for me as I'm calling measurements down and were handing the boards up to me, I cramped up so bad it woke me up almost screaming in the middle of the night in both my legs. I have not had that happen since I was a kid. So the next day I was in town buying magnesium because obviously I had a deficiency of some kind. Right. And within an hour of taking the magnesium, my legs started to loosen up again. So then it was, okay, I gotta be careful about this and I gotta be careful about that. And it was brutal. It was brutal.
But look at it though.
Oh yeah, right?
Right?
It's so cool.
You notched out the spots for the I didn't see that before, for the strapping.
Right. Well, that's going to be, you call it strapping, but it actually goes in the first two rafters and butts up against the third rafter. And I forget I've got a couple of contractors that watch it, and I keep calling them, they're like purlins. Yeah, they're like purlins, but they hold the OSB up on the outside, on the overhang. That's all they do. They only go.
Sorry, at first glance, I thought you'd done them for all of the rafters, and that's where you're going to put your strapping. But no, you're still putting your strapping on top, right?
Yeah. No, actually, when we mount the metal on the OSB here, there's no strapping. You just mount the the metal right on the OSB.
Really?
Yeah, they don't use strapping up here.
Okay.
It's weird because I have some other channels that I follow that have built houses and they use trusses and then they put the strapping on the trusses and there's no OSB. I mean, it's just strapping on the trusses and metal on the roof. And that kind of blows my mind, but then I have a different structured roof than they do. I guess the term is I have a cold roof, which means there is no ventilation in my roof whatsoever. So there's no ventilation coming up underneath it. So when the metal gets put on top, the only ventilation will be underneath the metal itself running around.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, sorry to sidetrack your live stream there, Jess.
No, I find that interesting. There's no track to sidetrack with I was asking about Christmas gift guides because I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it for me to keep doing them. In fact, let's take a look at the poll. How do I look at the poll?
Click it.
So with 22 votes, 18% like them, 77 don't like them, 5% say who cares.
It's not. The question was, do you watch them? Not do you like them or not like them?
Yeah, but I mean, I love them, but I never watch them. It's like, oh yeah, but okay, Excuse me is asking if you have trimmers up there. Hold on.
Tremors. Up where? Where Cindy's?
In Alaska?
Where Sean is, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have tremors. We have hardcore earthquakes.
Yeah. We had one yesterday, actually, here.
We've had, since I've been up here, since 2013, we've had probably 7 or 8 over 6. And we've had 3 over 7 on the Richter scale.
The one we had yesterday was like 3.7, so...
Yeah, but I'm from California, and we had big earthquakes there, too, all the time.
Yeah, well, when I was younger, I spent half of every year in Vancouver. I mean, one day Vancouver is going to be gone, and so will half of California. But
it's all that ring of fire.
Yeah. My brother, back in high school, for his a project for one of his classes was he wrote up a disaster plan for Vancouver, the city of Vancouver. Well, the greater Vancouver area, Vancouver, West Van, North Van, all those. He's just the type of guy who thinks that way. But so if you have like hardcore earthquakes, though, does that affect how you have to build?
I worked with a couple of guys that were contractors up here and kind of showed them my plans and what I was planning on doing and the design for the foundation. And basically they just said, dude, you could park a tank on that if you're going to build it that way. So you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm still using, all the metal hangers and all the metal strapping that I should be using to make everything tight and secure. And
yeah.
Nice. Good job.
Bit of conversation going on in the side chat about what's it called, Surviving Ringworm. That channel. It's not really about ringworm. So I think I'm gonna have to go and check that out a little later because it looks like a bunch of people watch him.
It's a weird title for a channel that has nothing. Does it have anything to do with Surviving Ringworm?
Apparently not. Just going by the side chat. Excuse me is asking Sean if concrete is expensive up in Alaska.
Actually, that was probably the most reasonable part of the build. I think I poured all the sonotubes, got all the hardware and everything in there for about $600. And then the lumber was, the first 3 beams that I used when I basically that are sitting on top that I built early and showed how terrible I was with a hammer and everything else. Those the first one cost me $300.
Wow.
And the price of lumber dropped so much that by the time I built the third one, it was $180.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, when you started, lumber was high.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised to hear that at all. At all.
So a 16-foot 2x12 cost me, 2 of those cost me $53. No, I take about $53 each.
53 each?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, whew. Nice. Comparatively, I don't know when lumber is going to be back down to where, where it should be.
It's pretty reasonable now. The main reason why I didn't buy the roof, I could have put the roof on a credit card, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make everything cash as I went. And while it would have been nice to have the metal on there, I could see at the time that I didn't have the metal ordered, so I wasn't sure when it would be here. And B, the weather was changing so fast that my main concern was just to get the OSB on and then get it tarped. So we've had a couple of snows since I had the OSB put on, and I've had it tarped, and it's pretty cool because I lay here and my bedroom's up above in the trailer here, and my window faces the cabin, and I must have woke up 3 or 4 times during the night listening to the snow slide right off of that roof and right off of that tarp. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty steep. It's nice.
Yeah, 9/12 pitch.
Now, when you order a metal roof like that, because Russell has a metal roof as well, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. Is that loud? Like when there's big heavy rain or like hail happening?
Oh yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Just it can be. If you're fully insulated, it's not so bad, but you'll still hear it. It won't. I've been woken up, during heavy rain, but it's not that hard to sleep through it.
Right.
Of course, on the deck where there's no insulation, you're just standing there. Yeah, it's really loud.
Okay.
I think it's kind of one of the reasons why I went with the metal roof is, besides the snow shedding, is that it'll almost put you to sleep when you're listening to that stuff falling on the roof. To me,
a white noise kind of almost.
Yeah, it's just incredible the sound.
I just want to point out 2 things. One, Charles and Annie are here. How's it going? Nice to see you. Oh, they had visitors from the U.S. And second, Alan just subscribed to Sean.
Oh, thanks, Alan. Much appreciated. At this rate, I'm going to pass Jess up.
It's not that hard to pass me up, dude. I'm working hard here, but unfortunately, I'm short and fat, so I think it's that.
Yeah, I resemble that remark.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Why are we getting into squirrel talk again? What's going on here? We're not talking about
Don't go
squirrels
down the
tonight.
squirrel hole.
Anyways, I'm looking forward to seeing that cabin finished.
I am too. I'm looking forward to moving into it, to be honest with you. That's going to be just unbelievable the first night I spend in there.
Now,
There'll be a
it's not
bottle of whiskey, a good grilled steak. There'll be a lot of fun stuff involved in that night.
all right. Make it a kick-ass whiskey too.
Oh, yeah.
What's the? Because I don't know if I've missed this in your shows, but your videos. But what's the end game in terms of, like, Russell? Whoops, Russell's got the board and batten going on. What's yours going to look like when it's done?
That's kind of the same thing I want to do with mine as board and batten. I like the look. I did that on my chicken coop, and I have a local guy here in Alaska that milled all that for me.
Yeah.
And he milled it and donated it for free, which was super awesome. And I told him, well, when I get ready to do the cabin, I'll talk to you. And he goes, I got plenty of wood, man. He goes, we'll come up with a price. I said, great. So
Nice.
and it would be nice to do it with native lumber, with native wood.
Mm-hmm. Keep it local. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, where my dad lives in the Okanagan, the lower Okanagan. He knows a guy, and he gets his wood milled as well for the same reason. Local wood, just makes sense.
I mean, the trees around here on my property are all black spruce, so there's not much you can do with that. I do have some nice long poles that from trees that I fell that are going to go inside the cabin.
Yeah.
So my plan is on the front of the loft, I'm going to have a log going all the way from the floor up to the loft and then all the way up to the ceiling and holding it up in the center. And then I'd like to split a log and tie it in, notch it in on both sides of the center log just for looks and aesthetics more than anything else. But they came off the property. Yeah.
I would do something similar. I love it. I love
Sean,
that kind of.
Sorry, Sean. This is what my cabin looked like when I moved in. The thing on the lower left is my bed.
Yeah, you have no insulation at all, man. None at all, huh?
There's no windows in there. That was my kitchen, that table.
I have the same kitchen, as a matter of fact.
Little basin there to catch water, so you wash your hands. And
yeah, I mean, living without.
I was so happy.
Living without the water part is pretty simple for me. But, I want to get a stove and an oven in there as fast as I can because, to me, that's been the biggest detriment of living in a trailer for, the last almost 3 winters now here on the property is I can't bake anything. The oven is just entirely too small. So if I want to cook a big roast, I can't even put a top on the lid, or a top on the pot. I got to cover it with foil and too much bottom heat. And I like to cook and I like to bake. So it'll be nice to have a decent oven.
I'd forgotten that you used to have was it a bakery? What did you used to have?
Yeah. I had a bakery and I had a restaurant at one time too.
Nice. Alan says, actually, excuse me, says native wood is a great idea. Absolutely. He then says to Russell that he's come a long way, which I absolutely agree with. Alan says, our house was reversed board and batten. The battens were under the wide boards. My father, an engineer, designed it that way for aesthetics and better weatherproofing.
That's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I can see it, but I don't know why that's better for weatherproofing.
I can't see it.
Well, I can visualize it.
I can visualize it.
Wide boards out, narrow boards in.
Yeah.
The only thing that would help with is, for the same reason I put that yellow crap on my walls underneath the board and batten, is if you leave an air pocket behind, if water gets underneath there, it can dry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and it can freeze.
Yeah. But yeah, I can totally visualize it. Granted, I spent my entire life with my brain being polluted by art school, so of course I can visualize it. Alan says, yeah, they were in the Green Mountains in Vermont, and which is funny because Vermont means Green Mountains. And there was something else here I wanted to show. Excuse me is asking if you're looking for a cast iron stove. Yes, excuse me. Sean had said earlier that he was looking for one, but he wants one with a glass front, and it's hard to find them. And then I said, "Yeah, I love the glass front because of the living light and all this stuff." And then Sean said, he's pretty sure it feels warmer. And then I said
Hey,
it's warmer for your soul. Have I captured everything we said?
pretty much, you nailed it. You nailed it. I found
Oh,
a couple. My biggest issue is that I'm not going to spend $1,500 on a stove. Not right now. And so the ones that I found that are like Vermont castings, just beautiful stoves. I'm like,
yeah,
$1,500. I'm looking more in the $400 range. Thank you.
yeah. You're probably not going to find anything by them in that range.
No,
My,
no, not
my,
by now.
Yeah. Beautiful
my
stuff.
stove is far from perfect, but I did get it for $50. So
Yeah.
Mm.
I heard the story of your stove. That was freaking awesome. I need a neighbor like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's far from perfect. You can't really cook on it, but I mean, you could do like you could boil stuff. You could boil pasta on it, but
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, look at this. Matt J has just discovered another a Sean in Alaska, which is another bit of cabin content to watch. It looks to me like he's subbed to you as well.
Right on. Thanks, Matt. Welcome.
Get off my screen before you surpass my channel.
we're gonna have to start charging them like $10 a sub.
Hey, you can buy them cheaper than that. I know. I get emails about it all the time.
Excuse me says something interesting here that apparently Etsy has some pretty skookum stuffs. I didn't know that Etsy was anything but handcrafts.
What the
Do you
is
know
a
what I'm saying?
skookum? What is it?
They've got everything. But the big problem with me buying anything up here is if it's not in Alaska, I have to pay for the
Yeah.
shipping.
And
And
it'll
if I'm
kill
going
you.
to pay for the shipping, I might as well go have one made because it would be cheaper.
Fair.
Yeah. Shipping to Alaska is ridiculous.
Yeah, shipping to Canada is ridiculous as well. I can hardly imagine. And one thing I noticed is that in the States, all those free shipping deals are like in the 48 contiguous United States. I'm like, oh, yeah. So Hawaiians or Alaskans are SOL.
Well, so I'm a Prime member, and a lot of stuff that I buy via Amazon is free shipping to me. But Alaskans are the reason why there's really not a lot of free shipping anymore on tires, because Alaskans were buying all their tires on Amazon, and Amazon was eating the shipping cost to get them up here. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. So you can still get Prime stuff on Prime?
Yeah.
For free?
Yeah.
Shipping?
Yeah.
See, all I would have to do is I'd have to think about that because people can put stuff on Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I find a wood stove for you for a decent price. I throw it on Amazon. I quickly tell you about it. You go and you buy it right away. But how does that make that Prime?
Well, so there's limits now to what I can get shipped here for free. So the big, heavy, bulky items, no. Any batteries whatsoever, no.
No.
Yeah. So I could have, so like, okay, I'll give you a great example. I bought, for my camera, I bought knockoff Canon batteries because I can buy 4 of these for the cost of 1 Canon battery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, so I
that.
said, so, I'll just have them ship them to me. They said, no, we can't ship that to Alaska. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I bought the camera. You shipped it with batteries. I'm just asking you to ship the batteries now. Well, we can't do that. So then I have it shipped to my daughter in California, my youngest daughter. She puts it in a little box. They ask her if it's batteries. She says no, and they mail it to me. So, but it's so any and then we'll run into problems too where you're say you're trying to work on something that has electronics in it, and you go on Amazon and you go to buy the part, and they say this part will not ship out of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the United States. I'm sorry, you can't get that part in Alaska. It's not, you can't get it. They don't consider us the United States for certain electronic things. So
frustrating.
Yeah,
absolutely. Hold on a second. Everything just jumped. Hey, it's 10 o'clock.
Did you pour out that beer?
Well, no, it's over there somewhere.
Pour it on the cactus. What do you got?
I have the Teeling small batch Irish whiskey.
Nice.
Yeah. On the 25th, I will be doing a live tasting on my other channel of the Teeling single malt. I think they're fantastical. Well, look, if you're into Irish whiskeys, it's terrific. Like if you're if your touchstone for whiskey for like Irish whiskey is like Jameson and Bushmills and stuff like that, this is mind-bogglingly good. If your touchstone is like $150 bottles of whiskey, it has a hard time standing up. But I think for the price, it's really good. It's a very enjoyable dram. Mm. So where were we? Where were we, Sean? What were we talking about?
Oh, shipping.
Yeah, and you know it's funny because I've had all kinds of problems with stuff too. Um, I grew up reading comics and seeing the adverts for little things in the back of the comics and saying, shipping, U.S. only or will not ship to Canada or whatever. So, I mean, I'm well used to that. When Amazon Prime became available for Canadians, I was like, I don't believe this. You know?
Did you ever do that thing? You send in a certain number of. I bought a jackknife once.
I bought a Cobra Commander
Up the,
from G.I. Joe once that way.
I bought sea monkeys one time.
Did you get the sea monkeys?
I did.
That shit doesn't work.
It doesn't. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I think they're just shrimp.
Yeah, they're just shrimp.
Yeah.
Freeze dried or some damn thing. I don't know. Yeah.
I actually got the jackknife though.
Nice.
Tiny little thing just in an envelope. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
no packaging.
A different time, eh?
Sure was.
Yeah. Excuse me, is asking Sean. Besides the deer flies, what drives you to live there?
Oh, we don't have deer flies.
You know what?
Black flies.
Excuse me, you're not the first to ask that question, and I still haven't. I don't. Sean has an answer for this, and I'm not satisfied with it. But go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
So we don't have deer flies. We don't have black flies. We just have mosquitoes. And I live here because it's the most beautiful place on earth. That's the number one reason why I live here. There's no place that I've ever seen that comes. I grew up right next door to Yosemite National Park. Mm-hmm. It makes Yosemite National Park look like your normal city park. I mean, it's within an hour and a half, I could be on the coast, on a glacier, watching 10-foot, 15-foot tides roar in, fishing the greatest salmon rivers and trout rivers in North America. It's incredible.
Oh, okay, I'll give you the fishing. I'll give that one to you. But
not bad for something that should be ours.
Yeah.
But I can see that. Like, I love the concept, Sean, of, you open your door and like natural beauty just goes boom in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why there's no windows. Like. That's why there's no windows on the front of the cabin, because all you would see is my driveway. And so, I mean, there's none on the upper front of the cabin, but on the loft of the cabin, when I wake up in the morning and I look out the window, I'm just going to see forest as far as I can see. There is nothing else to see out there.
Yeah. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love that. I'm very envious. I'm looking. Somebody said something. Country Boy said that sea monkeys are just fish food. Good to know. Canadian says that the most beautiful place he's ever seen is Switzerland.
I've never been there. So.
No, I haven't either, actually. Destiny, I think, is collecting my things I've said. She's going to put a book together of Jesse quotes.
Not bad for what should have been ours.
Matt says, looking in the mirror like, boom, natural beauty. Good to know. I wouldn't know how that feels, but...
I'm telling you, all you have to do to take over the state of Alaska is just start opening up Tim Hortons. You start putting Timmy's in every many miles on the road.
Every 5 kilometers. And,
But be careful, because America will follow back with Dollar Generals. We'll just start putting Dollar General stores everywhere.
Next thing you know, you'll own Vancouver. Sean, Alaska. You sound like an infomercial for Alaska. Kidding. Sounds amazing. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I love it. I love where I live.
Yeah. I have watched the Dick Brennicky videos over and over and over again. Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah, none of the rest of us have.
Huh? Yeah.
That guy was a master. That guy was. I still go back and I watch the one that the couple of things that blew me away in his videos. One was when he was building his roof and he was notching those small pieces of timber and shoving them in between the rafters, or his version of rafters, and calling them squirrel frustrators.
Right.
I'm just watching the way that he's working, and it's all filmed on what was it, 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter film?
I think it was 8. Well, I think it was 8. Might
Yeah,
have
but
been 16.
he's not stopping, and he's just going. Or when he made his door, and he made when he made the door, and then he turned around and made the locking mechanism for the door. I was like, how did you figure that out?
That's craftsmanship right there.
Yeah. It really was. He saw it.
I gotta say, Dick Brennicky is like the original YouTuber, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah, he is. He is. But he's sawing boards, and you know, I can use a handsaw, but I'm not even in the same class as that guy.
I remember that. I can saw a board in 20 minutes now.
Yeah, and I'm
like, oh my god.
Yeah, but you know, I don't like. He didn't. I don't think he went up there. I'm gonna start that sentence again. Okay. I don't think he went up there without skills already.
Oh no, he was skilled.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's the same thing when I decided I was going to watch Sean James seriously, is when I saw him working and I saw the way he held a tape measure, what some call a measuring tape, and it was he holds it the way carpenters do. He holds it the way people who work with their hands and measure and hammer and saw all the time do. Right. And I was like, and I recognize that because I used to work in construction, and that was my summer jobs for 5 years back when I was a teenager, right, out in Vancouver. Right, so I see the way guys who do this for 40 years hold the tools. You know, especially if it's the hammer they've had for 30 years. There's a way that these guys interact with their tools that you know this is a familiar item. You know, and I saw that in the way Sean James works, and I was like, I'm watching you. And Dick Brennicky, look at the way he holds an axe, and he's just like pop, 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 stick it in, kind of thing.
Yeah, when he was notching the logs for his cabin, you're like, he's sitting there using a measure stick, I'll call it, the one that's jointed. Yeah. My dad had one. My dad had one for years, right? Yeah. But he's sitting there using that thing, and he's just all doop, 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 doop with his pencil, and then he saws it, he notches it, he rolls it over. It's perfect. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, and I love watching people who bring the skill.
Right. Whereas I have viewers that have nicknamed my hammer Lightning because it never strikes the same place twice. And literally, when I read that, I just died laughing. I told that guy, that is the best comment I have ever had on one of my videos. So now I actually call that hammer Lightning now.
I wish I had thought of that.
Yeah, my saw is called Trusty Rusty because it's all rusted.
Yeah.
I got Trusty Rusty and Lightning.
I couldn't call my hammer Lightning because I could hit my thumb like every single time. So
4 times in a row. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to keep my eye on the side chat here, just to make sure. Matt J is asking what region of Alaska you're from, Sean.
I'm on the Kenai Peninsula. So if you look at a map of Alaska and you see Cook Inlet that comes up and it ends at Anchorage, the big peninsula to the right of that is the Kenai Peninsula. So I'm on the Kenai Peninsula about halfway down north of Homer and just outside of the town of Soldotna.
I tried to bring up a map of Alaska, but it didn't work. Schnitzel. Hold on. Google keeps letting me down. Okay, I was trying to bring up a Tabernacle. Oh, that's a bad word. One does not say that word in polite company. View image. Okay, I will bring this up now. I was trying to stealthily pop, but I blew it.
I gotta put some wood on the fire here. I'll be right back.
Show off.
I'm gonna grab a glass of wine while you're doing that.
Okay, everyone just leave. Okay, bye.
Hey, Jess.
Yeah.
I have a wood stove, and I'm gonna put wood in it. And stroke the fire.
Such a brat. So when Sean is back, he will tell us about the Kenai Peninsula.
Okay, come back.
All right, good to know. So what I'm looking at, okay, I see it. Okay, so you're in southern Alaska.
I'm in what they call South Central.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I see it. Now if I hold on a second, if I do this, can you guys see me circling it? Probably not, right?
No.
Okay. Stupid Windows.
Why do you just use Google Maps?
Because I didn't think of that. Why you gotta be like that? Why you gotta be hating? So for those of you who are wondering, at the bottom,
when you're stupid about something,
why you gotta be like that? Where it says
like
Pacific Ocean, and above that, Gulf of Alaska. If you just go straight up from the G in Gulf of Alaska, there's the Kenai Peninsula.
Yep.
So you're sort of near Seward, but we're not going to get any more exact than that.
Seward is actually north and east of me. So Seward's at the very top of the Kenai Peninsula.
Yeah.
Is Seward, and then at the bottom of the Kenai Peninsula is Homer, and I'm in the middle between the two.
Yeah, I see it. Okay. All right.
Oops.
And that's where Anchorage is. Okay.
Yeah. There's a little town between Soldotna, which is my closest town, and Homer called Anchor Point, and that is the furthest west that you can drive in North America on a road.
Jesus.
On a connected road.
Interesting. Oh, there we go.
There you go. Much better.
Yeah, except that I'm trying not to get too close to where you live.
So this is Alaska. Well, he said he's somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's the big lake. It's hard for me to. So if you look over towards the left, where it goes from beige to green, and then there's that big lake. That big lake is south of me.
Okay.
I'm kind of in the middle of that big lake and the lake that's up above it on the right, more towards the center. I'm kind of in the middle of those two lakes.
So you're pretty close to the national Kenya fjords?
Kenai fjords. Yeah.
Kenai. Sorry. Okay.
Nice.
Neato.
Yeah.
Can you wave? Let's see if can you wave? Hold on, let me turn on.
You won't see me anyway. It's dark.
Well, at least try.
I think I see a partially built cabin.
Oh no, the tax man will be here.
I was going to say, here are the latitude and longitude of Sean's cabin for anyone who wants to show up uninvited. Want to do some hunting? Get off my land.
Get off my land. Leave my chickens alone.
Yeah. Destiny says, first Dick Prenicky, then Sean James. Two greats, but completely different. Yeah, they're both great. They're both great, and it's the kind of content that I love watching. I love watching cabin builds, especially if they're log especially Russell, if they're log cabins.
You know what? I can't put Sean. I like Sean James, but I can't put him in the same categories as Dick Prenicky. Dick Prenicky
is going to be a legend. Absolutely.
He went off in the middle of nowhere, got dropped off by a plane, had no access to, most of the stuff that Sean has.
Yeah, I think Sean James is a more attainable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
sort of.
You'd be pretty hard pressed to do what Dick Prenicky did again, just with like where his cabin's at now. his estate donated that cabin back to the national park there. So there's only 1 or 2 people that actually still have a cabin in that area. And they're on one of those deals with the federal government where, as long as it's their family, they can use it, but they can't sell it.
Yep.
If it leaves their title, it goes back to the federal government. So you'd be pretty hard pressed, even in Alaska, to do that. There are people up here that do that quite a bit, but most of them don't spend all their time there. They go in and they spend X amount of months. Maybe they'll do their summers there, or they'll be there in the fall running trap lines and stuff like that. But they don't stay there forever and ever.
Right. At least not unless they fall and break their head.
Right. Yeah.
She's a Blue is here. How's it going? Hey everyone. Hey, it's Sean. Hi, Sean. She says.
Hiya.
All is well. Sean's chit-chatting about his cabin build. I'm sitting here with 2 guys who are cabin building people, and I'm sitting in my basement.
How's that working out for you?
Feeling pretty bad right now.
How old are you, Jess?
50.
Don't worry about it. You got plenty of time then. That's when I started this. That's when I moved to Alaska.
So all I got to do is drop my family somewhere.
No, I just wait for him to graduate. My youngest one graduated from high school, and I said, "Okay, you get yourself a place to live because I'm leaving."
My youngest one is about to go into pre-K next year.
Yeah, you got a bit. You got some time.
My eldest one is going into high school next year. I did the math, and by the time, if I waited for both my kids to be self-propelled, so that I could finally start doing things, I'd be 65, dude.
Yeah.
See, now I'm getting all maudlin.
That's me in 5 years. I'll be 65 in 5 years, and I just spent, a week climbing around on rafters and, feeling like I was dying.
Yeah. That's not age related, by the way. When I was working construction as a teenager, some nights I fell into bed and just, slept like the dead.
Yeah.
But
it's a good feeling.
Yeah, I was about to say that I really miss that feeling of collapsing into bed, physically exhausted from a day of physical freaking hard ass labor, swinging hammers, sawing stuff, doing because I deal with intellectual exhaustion because my day job is hard as a shift. But there's a difference, man. Physical exhaustion it's more rewarding to crawl into bed. It's there's something more primal about it, I guess. And yeah.
Your body's tired. Your body's tired, but your mind is still functioning. Whereas the other way, your mind is toast, but your body's not really tired.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I just realized that people people have been continuing to chat, and I've totally spaced it. Sorry, guys. There are questions and stuff.
Hold on, I gotta call out Alan on this one. I didn't say he isn't special. Sean is, in fact, very special. He's doing wonderful projects, and he's a great videographer. He's a great editor. He's just terrific at what he does. But I wouldn't say, I wouldn't compare him with what Dick Prenneke did, because it's just a whole different experience when you're out there in the wilderness by yourself, and you can't just drive to the store when you need something.
Right.
Yeah. I like what Destiny said. Amazon Prime does deliver to Sean, but I think the delivery driver drives past the first time.
She sent me, so I put I've got an Amazon wish list. So I put on the Amazon wish list. I'm like, okay, what do I want people to get me? Well, everybody was laughing about my hammer to begin with. So I put a DeWalt cordless framing hammer on there. I'm all, if you're going to complain about it, buy me a framing hammer. And then I also put a bunch of different types of coffee beans, because every morning when I wake up, I have a French press for coffee, right? So because I don't have electricity,
Classic
I can't.
Choice.
Yeah, I have no power to run a grinder or anything, but I like beans. So every morning I start my water on the stovetop, I get my
I
French
like
press
beans.
opened up, and I take the beans, scoop them into my hand grinder, and hand grind my beans for coffee every morning. So I went ahead and put coffee on there, and Destiny sent me some coffee. It was awesome.
Nice.
Nice,
I
Destiny.
have an Amazon wish list too, but I don't. I just use it to keep track of stuff that I'd like to. Actually, it's been. I haven't really paid much attention to it, but I use it as sort of a way to keep track of stuff that because I'll get a little bit of money and I'll sit there staring at Amazon or Lee Valley like there was something I knew I needed, but what the hell was it? So I just put wish lists together so that I remember what everything is.
That's what I do when I go lumber shopping at the orange store. I go to their app, I load it all on their app, and then when I get to the lumber store, I freaking pull it up and I go, okay, I need all this.
That's a great idea. That's a fabulous. You are smart.
And I know how much it's going to cost before I get there, so I swing by the bank, pull the cash out, and then just pay them cash when I walk in.
Just throw a pile of cash at them. Cindy Squirrel's asking if you're close enough to see the ocean.
Not from my house, but I'm only maybe 45 minutes away. So where I work is about 10 minutes away from the coast.
Okay, but you couldn't buy anything closer to the coast?
I wouldn't want anything closer to the coast. It's too windy. I mean, here so where I live, we get anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees warmer in the summer than the towns around me. Yeah. So they may be at 70 and I may be at 80 or 85 in the summer. So the growing season's a little bit better out here. And then I don't have all the traffic. Yeah. I don't have all the traffic and tourism out here at all. I work in town where all of it is, but then when I leave town, I leave all of that behind.
Yeah.
And then in the negative part of that obviously is in the winter when it's 20 below zero in town, it's 30 below zero at my house. So yeah, colder in the winter.
Wait, 30 okay, question, because to me 30 below zero is a very specific number, but you guys freeze at 32. So correct. 30 below zero sounds freaking cold.
Well, okay, it was the coldest we've been so far this winter is 12 below zero, and I know the Celsius conversion because I was going to throw it up on the screen and on the video, and I didn't because I actually said it. It's 24 below zero C. Okay. At 12 below zero. But the colder we get as we get closer to 40 below zero, yeah, we match up with you guys
at 40 below. Yeah, it's just like so. Canadian sub-zero is not as cold as American sub-zero necessarily.
No, yeah, your sub-zero generally is not as cold as our sub-zero.
No, because to us zero is 32 more than yours.
Yeah, it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah.
It's so confusing. It's just confusing.
Well, and
the
100
next conversion we will do is
100 100 degrees C is 212 degrees F.
That one I know because I used to work at a Starbucks.
Yeah.
We are about to do more math. Stay tuned.
All you do is you carry the one. Just whatever it is, always carry the one.
Always carry the one.
Carry the one.
Mike with Hike. Oh my God. Hike with Mike says, I love the Kenai Peninsula. I spent a month in Homer. I loved it. Why are you laughing at me? Why you gotta be?
I can't believe after all these years you still get that wrong.
It's because I call him Hike instead of Mike all the time. Why you gotta be like that?
Homer is
the third time you've asked me.
Homer's one of those places when, as you're just cresting the hill to come down into Homer, you see ocean and mountains jutting out of the sea covered in ice and snow. It's just beautiful.
Nice. I like it.
We're definitely bringing the Books bus up there.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. And bring it up in July so we can go salmon fishing. We'll catch sockeye.
Oh, baby.
I did not fish once this year. I literally I didn't even pull my pole out of storage this year.
Well, you're building a cabin.
I didn't fish either this year.
Yeah, so I'm going to make up for that next year because early in the spring I'm building a smokehouse, and I'm going to put that thing to work big time.
Nice.
I would love to build a smokehouse.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I would smoke in there.
There you
I
go.
would.
Beavers.
Smoked beaver.
Smoked
Smoked beaver
squirrel.
Oh, it burned again. I don't know how that happens at a smokehouse.
You know it's
Oh,
ready when they stop shrieking. Oh, come on, Jess. That's terrible. Destiny says, see,
Why
I
am I
got the
laughing?
self-loathing happening. Destiny says, I find watching Dick Prenicky enjoyable. I break out in hives watching Sean James because I know it would take me several incarnations just to build Sean's first home, never mind the rest. Look, the thing is, what these guys did is not impossible to do. All it takes, and I say this like every time, like, if I just come off stage, and I've been like, and I come off stage, it was like, man, you're so good. This hasn't happened in a while, actually. But I mean, I have had people come up and say, man, you're so good. I wish I could do that. And as soon as I say, I wish I could do that, I'm like, okay, all it takes is agonizing effort. There's
Right.
nothing special here. That's all it takes.
Agonizing effort.
I'll tell you a quick ditty that's funny because my daughter, I know for a fact, my oldest daughter is not watching, or else I wouldn't tell this because it would embarrass her too much in here. So her and her husband have their first house, and they want to. He's a carpenter, and he keeps watching my videos, going, "There's no way your dad's never done this before." And she's all, "He's never done this before. I grew up with him." Anyway, so their idea now is that they want to remodel homes, buy fixer uppers, remodel them, flip them, and go on and on like that. So I'm talking to her on the phone, and she goes, "Dad, I'm never going to see him. How's he supposed to?" I go, he's going to have to go get a job, work full time for somebody else to be able to do the first couple of houses before he's got enough cash behind him to just focus on that. And she goes, "Dad, how's he supposed to work full time and build a house?" And I get absolutely dead silent on the phone, and she goes, "Dad," and I go, "Do you remember who you're talking to?
Mm-hmm.
I am 60 years old. I work full time, and I'm building a house, and I don't know what I'm doing." And I go, "So don't tell me the guy who's a carpenter can't do this."
Yeah. Absolutely. And there's a magic to doing it at your age, because of the fact that the kids are out of the way.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because you're not driving someone to soccer practice or whatever.
Right. And for me, the whole thing is I get a lot of people that say, "Oh my God, how can you do this? This is just incredible." And I'm having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if this was a job that I had to do every single day, I'd be miserable. But every time I'm doing something different and I'm doing something new, I'm like, okay, this is going to be cool. I've never done this before. This is fun. I can see where if you had to do this because you had to have that house right now done, it would be a chore. Yeah, the fun would be gone.
Yeah, and if you can keep the fun rolling, then that's a definite plus. Excuse me, no, I do not have the blue label out tonight because Al's not here. I'm drinking Teeling small batch Irish whiskey, and it's very good, highly good, very tasty. Yes, and Canadian, and it killed, I might add.
Yeah. Except for the roofing scenes, this whole roofing project, basically the guys that were helping
I just
me
imagine your cameraman. He's like, okay.
They're all, if you put the kilt on, we're going home. So.
Way back when I was in the Air Cadets, I had a friend who was he was an Army cadet in the Black Watch Regiment. That's the Royal Highland Regiment of Canada,
right
here in Montreal. One of a bazillion. Apparently, Canada has more Highland regiments than Scotland. Anyways, so he was in the Black Watch, and he was at some Army cadet event, and of course, two girls from some other regiment, might have been, I don't know, Royal Montreal Regiment or something, said, "So are you a real Scotsman?" A real Scotsman? So he's like, he starts lifting, and one of his NCOs sort of walks by and just slams the kilt down and says, "Don't." Like, that takes a certain amount of self-assuredness that most men would not have, I think.
I pretty much wear mine exclusively when I'm not at work. I usually have that kilt on.
Oh yeah.
And I wear it everywhere. And the comments I get, I've actually seen a couple other people up here that do it, and the comments that I get are never negative. I've never had a negative comment wearing my kilt in public. I've had plenty on videos. I've had plenty of comments on the videos where they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you lost me when I saw you wearing a skirt." Yeah, whatever.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
piss off.
go your own way, man. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Go your own way. Go your own way. That's a fabulous song, by the way.
It is.
Canadian says, I was just in Scotland, and not one time did I see anyone wearing a kilt. Well, no. Of course not. It's the same as, if you're in Ireland, most of the people drinking the Guinness are tourists. Absolutely. And I get that. I mean,
What? Really?
apparently, or at least 30 years ago, the best-selling beer in Ireland was Budweiser.
Now it's Coors Light.
Well,
Now it's Coors Light, yeah.
Disappointing.
But, I mean, the thing is, I think you get jaded about what you got, you know? Yeah, like it took me so long to start actually buying maple syrup instead of that crappy table syrup stuff, just because it's not special to you growing up in Quebec.
Right.
In many parts of Canada, it's not special to you. In some parts of Canada, it really freaking is. My dad sitting there in the Okanagan, if I'm flying out to meet him, he's like, "Bring me some syrup or don't come," But like you get jaded about the stuff that you grew up with. I have a friend from, she was born in Cork, and whenever her family would come over, they would drink teabag tea. And I'm like, what? And they're just like, oh, it's so easy to make. You throw a bag in, you throw the water in, and you have your tea. And they're just so used to trying to put the damn loose tea into that little ball, and and it's like, yeah, but the tea is better than, like, hey, in the morning, all I care about is the caffeine.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that you don't see a kilt in Scotland. You don't see a guy drinking Guinness very often in Ireland. You don't see.
Wait, are you saying there's stereotypes?
Maybe.
I saw more cowboy hats in California than I ever saw in Texas.
You see a lot of them in Alberta too, though, especially during the Stampede.
Right.
Alberta is Cowboy Central. Cowboy. Whoops. Hold on a second. Oh no! Everything just. Whoop. Excuse me says my grandparents were black watch kilts and arms.
What does that mean?
I think it's my grandparents were Balquatch. Maybe might be referring to, like, every regiment. I don't know, every Canadian regiment, or every Commonwealth regiment, because they're all basically based on British regiments, has like an association and sort of a culture to it. So that if someone was Black Watch back in the war, they're Black Watch for life. If someone was black, oh, you know what I just thought of? One Remembrance Day, I must have been like 17 because I was a cadet, and I'm on my way. We're gonna do the march through the streets of Westmount and all that stuff. And there was one old guy, one old veteran, walking this way on one side of the street, and a couple of guys, same, like, octogenarian old farts, walking the other way, and different berets. And one of them shouts to the solo guy, "What regiment were you?" And the guy says, "Black Watch." Real pride. And the other two guys said, "So what?" and kept on going. And, like, I used to work in an old folks home, and that is that generation to a T. They didn't hide anything. They're sitting there in the rec room of the home, and there's a guy in, and the old folks home hired like a pianist or something to entertain them, and they don't like it, they're going to get up and say, "We're not liking this," and walk out. And it's just such a cool moment because every regiment thinks that they're the best regiment, right? Every single one does, and every other regiment thinks that they're wrong.
Every single one.
Every single damn one. I'm looking for everything. Sort of scrolled past while I was.
I heard in the good old days, back in the the swords and shields days, that if you didn't have armor, sometimes they went naked because you don't want clothing in your cuts and stuff.
For
Like
infection?
fester.
Yeah, back when you could die of infection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Excuse me, says Clans Campbell, Fraser, Munro, and Grant with their warrior natures to guard and protect the Highlands. And it's funny. I had a buddy, the guy who was in the Black Watch. Before he was in Black Watch, he was in the Air Cadets with me, and he was from a specific clan, and there was a guy in our squadron from Clan Campbell, and at some point, hundreds of years ago, Clan Campbell had trapped his clan in a barn and set it on fire. And throughout history, these two clans have hated each other ever since then. And here's two Canadian kids, never spent more than maybe 2 weeks at a time in Scotland, grumbling at each other because of this thing from like 300 years ago. And I'm thinking, I guarantee in Scotland, nobody cares. Right? Because, the diaspora maintains what the people who live in a country just don't bother with anymore.
It's like America with the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Although I didn't know that was real. I thought that was just like I thought that was apocryphal. The Hatfields and the McCoys.
No, there was really two families that feuded between each other. So
I think that happens way more often than people realize. All it takes is two neighbors to start feuding, which is really
true.
easy.
Yeah. I was always Team McCoy myself. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just
You son of a bitch.
He's Team Jacob.
As soon as I'm done scratching my back, I'm over there.
Are you Team Abel or are you Team Cain?
You son of a bitch.
Canadian says, because humans are stupid, lol. Stuff like that is always funnier when you throw a lol on the end. What time are we at? 22:39. All right.
I gotta say, I had to build a stupid fireproof room in a crawl space for a lithium battery. That is like a really dumb requirement. I'm sure that's for the insurance company, but you need to change insurance companies because that's just stupid. I mean, there's my lithium batteries just hanging out there.
Yeah.
Well,
I think you know what
technology the way it is now, right?
It's got to be like, because a Tesla car, exploded. And they're like, oh, lithium batteries are dangerous.
You know what? And this is going to be real short because this has nothing to do with tonight's whatever.
That's a surprise.
A few weeks ago, by which I mean last week, hello, I was driving through traffic and I was behind one of those, is it Polestar? The electric vehicle company? I think they're called Polestar because I used to think they were Polaris. And I was like, no, that's the ATVs. And is it ever obvious that Polestars are Volvos? They look the same. But today I was driving and right in front of me was a the model's Air was a Lucid Air, and I didn't even know those were being sold yet. And I tell you something, if I have a lot of money to spend on an electric car, to hell with Tesla, I'm getting that thing. So back to
What
what
was
we
it
were
called?
talking about. Lucid Air. Well, the car company is Lucid, and the model number is Air. But I mean, I'm only going off of the looks. I find that the Teslas are starting to look like the geriatric EV in some ways, like because they really look like an early 2000s car, whereas everyone else that's bringing out electric cars since are sort of, it just looks so much better.
It does look cool.
But I'm wondering if that's like a fire code thing that who was it? Is it Sharon? No.
Well, as I said, it's probably insurance, but
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
we went through the same sort of stuff when Ray and I were running the solar power company. And it's like people would say, "Oh, we talked to our insurance company. They want this or they want that, or they just won't insure us." And we're like, "Okay, here's a number of companies that will insure you."
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lot of companies are just scared, right? They're just
Yeah.
scared. We don't know what this solar thing is. We've never done this before. You're putting solar panels on your roof. Oh, your roof is gonna cave in. You know, it's
I once had batteries in a flashlight, and the flashlight got wet, and those batteries went kablooey, and now your house is gonna go kablooey.
yeah.
Hey, Austin's Corner is here. How's it going, Mister? Nice to see. Oh, it's because of the crawl space. They're not allowed in crawl sapkes. Well,
Says who?
well, it might be like their township or something. But like, why wouldn't you do what Russell's got there?
I guess the crawl space doesn't freeze in the wintertime, so it's more temperate.
Mine's going under my staircase.
Under your staircase?
Yeah. When I build the staircase, I'm going to close the whole thing in, and I'm going to put all my electric underneath there, and then probably frame out bookcases on the side of the staircase because I've got a ton of books. So
good man. Oh, I just got a book, and bloody hell, I forgot it in the kitchen. I wanted to show it off. I showed it off.
Too bad
on
you don't know where the
Instagram.
kitchen is.
If I go into that kitchen, I'm going to come back with cheese.
Get your wheel of cheese, you hobbit, you.
I'll roll it down the stairs.
Just walks away as he's coming back. We hear thump, thump, thump.
There was.
I can turn my camera back on.
Between last live stream and this live stream, there was some serious talk about trying to find Jess a big wheel of cheese.
Big wheel of
Oh
cheese.
no, I remember. I was last week. Everybody was talking about the wheel of cheese.
Forget the wheel of time. Jesse wants the wheel of cheese.
Because I really want to see Jess, one day go, I feel like cheese, and pull in this cart, and there's a great big wheel of cheese in the cart.
The giant wires.
Yeah. Yeah.
19%.
Yeah. Country boy says, bring on the brie. Brie's a good cheese. Absolutely.
Brie is nothing but wrapped yogurt.
Matt J's like, are we talking about cheese wheels again? Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean it. Destiny's asking, Sean, do you get enough sun throughout the year to go solar in the future if you decide to? I would imagine that you spend 6 or whatever, however, 4 months in the dark, don't you?
Well, not total darkness. So our shortest day is December 21st, right? The solstice.
Yeah.
But right now, sunrise is 9:05 and sunset is 4:05. So honestly, this time of year, you're never going to get enough sunlight to run a house that has electrical hardcore stuff in it. So it'll be generator backup for me. But I don't use that much electricity anymore. So because, basically, I use a 12-volt deep cycle marine battery to power all of my electrical needs right now. And then when I'm going to do video editing like I did today, I'd like to do it on the big screen. I have a 32-inch monitor up on the wall. I fire up the generator for that. And then when I'm done, I turn it all off and I top it off my battery while I do it. So we don't really have enough sunlight this time of year, but we have more than we need for 7 months out of the year.
What about wind?
Not enough consistently where I'm at, like I said, because that's why I live here. But on the coast, quite a bit. You could make a good call for wind power, wind generation on the coast.
Right. So, how long in a day would you have to run that generator for? Like, would you run it to top up batteries, or would you run it to run your electrics?
Okay, so
run your electrics.
The only time I run it now is when I'm, like I said, doing video editing, because I have multiple hard drives and multiple monitors, and I don't want any interruption while I'm doing it. I've got surround sound speakers so I can hear what it's going to sound like when I'm putting music in there and that kind of stuff. So, an average editing cycle for me is about.
Excuse me, stop for a second. I just have to say, you're living in a trailer and you're like, yeah, and I've got my surround sound speakers, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I have these.
It's audio, man. I gotta have. If I'm gonna put audio in a video, I have to make sure that it sounds right when it's done.
These are studio cans.
Yeah, I'll run it 3 hours usually for one 30-minute video. I'm to the point now where I can usually edit that out in about 3 hours. So while I'm doing that, everything that I have is plugged in and charging.
Yeah. Okay.
And I might run. I don't run my generator except for construction purposes. Obviously, when I'm running the saw and stuff, I'm running the generator, nail gun compressor, stuff like that. But the rest of the week, I'm lucky if I run that generator a total of 6 hours a week.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's cool.
Yeah, maybe 5 gallons of fuel a week at the most. Even with like the couple of days that we were really hammering out on the roof, I maybe went through 6 or 7 gallons of fuel, and that was it.
So okay, that makes sense then, because it's a legit question. If you're up north, where you get shorter and shorter days, like by a lot, then the solar thing might not look quite as good. Look, I am solar gives me the fizz. I want a solar in my house just to do it, even though what we pay in Quebec, my payback period on a solar system would be like an eon.
What do you pay a month for utilities there for electric?
I think I'm paying like $400 every 2 months. I get billed every 2 months.
My buddy right around the corner from me, he's on the grid. He's about a mile away, and his electric bill during the winter is about $600 a month.
Wow. Yikes.
And you know what? There's Sean. You probably need like 100 solar panels to not run your generator during the winter.
Right.
It's crazy. The very short days, the lack of sun. You're really just better off running a generator.
Well, and that's my whole thing too. About when I moved into the trailer, I had no electricity here when I moved the trailer onto the property. So I replaced, like right above me right now, I have an 18-inch LED strip light. Well, I have one of those in the kitchen, and I have one of those above my bed, and they're all 12 volts. So I just wired those directly to the battery with a toggle switch.
Yeah, fair.
And in the deepest, darkest part of winter, I can go about 3 days before I have to fire up the generator for a bit to top off that battery. But other than that, that's the only electric I use in my house.
Okay. I like it.
And the cabin will be no different. I'll do it'll be a propane stove, so I don't need electricity for that. I'll just have propane. Right. I'll have the wood stove, and I'll have an actual permanent source of propane backup heat.
Okay.
So during the winter when I'm at work, I can set that at like 58. And if the stove goes out while I'm at work, the house won't be freezing cold when I walk into it.
Mm-hmm.
So Sean, have you got a propane stove picked out?
Not yet. I'm thinking that I'll just go with one of the old-fashioned. The company name here in America is Williams, and they're designed to fit between 16-inch studs on center. And they make two. They make two varieties. One is a front, and they run without electricity. One is a front heat model, and the other one you can actually put in a wall between 2 rooms, and it will heat both rooms. It's a 2-room model.
Oh, cool. I meant like a cook stove.
Oh, yeah. It's probably going to be something older. I would love to get one of the unique stoves, but it'll have to be an older one to begin with, or a new one that doesn't require anything more than a 9-volt battery or 12-volt, startup for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
pilot.
When I bought our cook stove, it's a propane stove, but I was surprised to find out it actually needs electricity. It uses electricity to start the burners, which I could do without, but the oven itself, I guess there's a fan that runs or something like that, because it takes up to like 300 watts when
Wow.
we're doing something in the oven.
Yeah, you
That's why
could
I
see.
300 watts?
So I've been looking. I've been looking online at the Orange store, because they're like the only appliance store we have up here too, and they actually do have some models that don't require electricity, but they're not going to be the fancy ones with the fans and everything else. They're going to be the basic 1960s style ovens or 70 styles ovens. I would like I said, I'd love to get a unique, but they're pretty pricey. I had my hands on one, almost got it for $200 because the person had no idea what they had,
Yeah.
and it sold out from underneath me before I could get in touch with her. I'm like, I said, well, if
Right.
he falls through, I'll take it.
Nice.
So like a waiting list.
Yeah, pretty much.
Russell, how much do you run your generator in the cold, dark part of the year?
More than I'd like to. In the around the end of December, beginning of January, it's almost every day, but not for like hours and hours. Maybe a couple or 3 hours.
Hmm.
It kind of depends on the generator. Like if I could find one that actually works properly.
Right.
Like if it's a bigger generator, like say an 8 kilowatt generator, then running it for an hour is 8 kilowatt hours.
Yeah.
And I don't, like, a lot of people think, oh, I got to charge up my batteries to full, and I'm like, no, just charge up the batteries because next day it might be sunny.
Yeah.
Right.
I would never go past like 80% kind of thing.
But you're south of me, I think, aren't you, Russ?
Well, he's south of you, all right.
Yeah.
Everybody's south of you, Sean. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, I'm not.
Maybe
Fairbanks,
Stacy's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Stacy's north of me.
Maybe Stacey. Okay. Well, yeah, we get more daylight hours, but Sean, I'm a huge fan of using as much solar as possible to do stuff. Like my fridge is electric, my freezer outside is electric. I guess those are two of the big things. So I don't want to be carrying a lot of propane tanks back and forth
Right.
to the road. Yeah. But then, I end up carrying gas tanks back and forth to the road because I run my generator. Although my new generator that's coming runs on propane. So
for me, it's easy because I'm in town 5 days a week. I drive to work every day. So it's nothing for me to throw empties in the back of my truck. When I get off of work, I swing by, I refill, and I bring it out here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably. Yeah, it's funny because I kind of plan my stuff around the trip to town and how much I can carry on the ATV, during a trip. I've actually gotten pretty creative on how I pack my ATV.
Yeah, you're definitely a more rugged lifestyle than I have because, like I said, I can, shoot, I ran out of beer. Okay, I'll just run to the store and buy some.
Right.
For you, it's a major project.
Yeah. Well, yeah, your truck is right there. Oh man, what I'd pay to be able to drive my FJ Cruiser right up to my cabin.
Right. I mean,
however, my property was $35,000 for 180 acres. So
yeah,
so
you'll give up. Trust me, I would give up a lot for that kind of property for that kind of price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I just dropped a link to Sean's channel in the side chat because, as Rob on the internet says, if you're not following Sean, go give him a sub.
Awesome,
You will
thanks,
not
man.
regret it.
Because Sean is paying us $10 for every new subscriber tonight.
Every single one.
Not this week's video, but next week's video, Russell gets a shout out.
Nice.
Yeah, because Russell and City Girl made the comment that Sean could cut his arm off and he'd probably still be laughing and smiling.
It's true.
So that actually comes up, man.
Fair enough.
Oh man, we're so well. I shouldn't say we. City Girl's the nicest person ever, but I'm such a joker.
You're a joker, all right. It's good to have a joker around.
I love this. Wait a minute. How does solar work?
Whenever anybody asks me, what do I do about solar or how do I find out about solar, I send them to Will Prowse on YouTube because I want to imagine their brain melting down trying to understand what that guy's saying too.
Right.
I'm pretty good, and Ray is exceptionally good, but it's funny because it can be pretty simple on the top level, but really complicated on the bottom.
Everything's got a deep dive you can do, right? Everything, every subject.
Yeah.
I remember.
Here's the difference between solar systems, right? You look behind Russell's shoulder, and you see all of his solar stuff sitting right there. All right.
Yep.
I just have a 12-volt battery.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how deep do you want to go, and what do you want to run?
It's got to look good, man. It's got to be styling. Yeah. It's got to be profiling.
I aspire to that. I want that. Eventually, I do. But, yeah.
All it takes is money.
It's just money.
I'll get that right after the roof.
It's just all my money.
All my money.
But the thing is,
I'm at the spot now where I want to upgrade my system, which is all new panels. I've got the extra charge controller for it, and a new inverter is what I needed. It's like, oh my god, that's so expensive. What were you going to say, Jess?
But like that, I was going to say that solar is coming down in price in a big way, but not across the board. Like panels seem way more affordable than they were when I first started looking into this system. But that's kind of not where your cost center is it? Batteries. There's batteries, but like I find that just like the tech, your inverters and stuff. I mean, that doesn't seem to come down in price.
The inverters are still really expensive. The charge controllers are still expensive.
That seems to be where your big cost center is.
Panels have come down a lot in price, but of course you need a stack of them, so they're still expensive.
Yeah, come down a lot in price doesn't mean they're like cheap as chips.
I don't know, man. $1,000 a battery. $1,000 a battery to me, that's the biggest expense is batteries. When I look at a system that would rock, that I would be like, oh, that'd be awesome. Lithium iron phosphate, $1,000 a battery. I'd love 10 of them. There's 10 grand right there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
For a 12 volt, I don't know how many amp hours you get on yours, but those two systems were way more than that.
Yeah, that's the Battleborn 100 amp hour 12 volt battery that they have out there now.
12 volts.
Yeah.
Yeah, between these two, over 10 grand there.
Yeah.
Those are 48 volts, 10 kilowatt hours each. So I have 20 kilowatt. Oh my god, I can't talk anymore. I'm like Jess.
But you're not even drinking that much tonight, dude. The hell?
Okay, well, I'll try and catch up.
I'm not drinking that much either. I just don't talk so good after a certain hour. Are you drinking RC Cola?
It looks like a tab.
Oh, it's Ricker's Red?
Oh.
Ricker's Red, okay.
Those have Laker Red, which is weird.
Laker Red? Lakers Red. Isn't that a sports team? The Lakers?
The Lakers.
Do they do the sportsing?
They do the sportsing. They do the round ball.
The round ball?
Yeah.
I will tell you that there is going to be some very epic round ball happening fairly soon on the world stage. But it's the bigger round ball, the ball of footing.
Oh, yeah. Soccer?
The beautiful game.
Everybody gives Americans crap for calling that game soccer. And you know who invented the term soccer for that game?
That was the British, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I played as a kid, and I played goalie, halfback, and fullback pretty much 7 or 8 years worth of that, and loved it. I enjoyed the heck out of it.
That's in the football, though, right?
I'm talking about soccer.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then you could not force me to sit down and watch a game again in my life until a TV show came out that just made me go, oh my God, this is so fun. And I've actually watched a couple of games since then. Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Okay.
Yeah. It is the one of the greatest TV shows I've ever seen. And obviously, I don't have television here. So somebody told me about it, and I downloaded a bunch of episodes and
Right.
watched it on my phone. And it's one of those shows that you cheer at the screen while you watch it.
Okay.
It's a great show. It's an
Good.
American football coach gets hired by an English Premier Soccer team to coach, and there's a whole backstory of why he was hired
Right.
to fail, and it's just a great show.
So is it fiction or?
It's fiction. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay,
is fiction real? Is fiction real is nonfiction real?
Nonfiction is real.
Fiction is
Okay, it's fiction. I always screw those up.
So we're at 11:02. Shall we go to 11:15 and then shut her down?
I think so. We're having a good time.
Yeah, we're having a
Okay.
great time.
I'm gonna have to get
And-
another half
Still
an
have-
hour.
Okay. There's
we still have
some
24 people watching.
there's some cool conversation going on in the side chat about solar and stuff. Cindy Squirrel has a system, and she's telling Destiny about it. Interesting stuff, and I can sort of see where people are talking about why the hell our battery is so expensive, but at the end of the day, they just are. Like I think
It's batteries. Although batteries have come down, and if you're buying like lithium phosphate ion like mine, you get them out of China. They're not too bad, but they're still expensive.
I was looking at online. I was looking at Chinese batteries, and that's one thing I'll say about that Will Prowse channel is he'll buy those batteries, and he'll just break the whole freaking thing down right on a video. I mean, he'll tear it apart. He'll go in and look at, the connectors, talk about whether or not the construction's good or anything else. And you could pick up one of those for a lot less than you're going to pick up an American battery.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have a buddy who changed his boat from he had a 30-foot French sailboat, a first 30 by doesn't matter. In fact, it's the boat I used to crew on, and he took out the diesel and switched it to an electric engine. He put in a rack of batteries and got some solar going. And when he also swapped to an electric car, and he's big into solaring and everything. Solaring? What?
I like that.
You can use it. Just a little footnote, Jesse.
Solaring. Thanks, Jeff.
Solaring. But he buys the individual cells and just, runs them all together, solders them together. It puts a frame around them with aluminium angle or whatever. It says that it's a great way to save some money. The thing is, you're saving money on the affordable part of solar, though, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, if I'm trying to save some money on solar, I'm not going to look to the panels as my first sort of, big cost center, I don't think.
Right.
But the thing is, the guy's an engineer at heart. He likes to get in there. So I absolutely respect that.
That's the thing. He's an engineer.
Yeah.
Got to give it to him.
Yeah.
But you know what? I tell you what, Jess. I mean, my neighbor Dan here. You can get started without. You know what? Never mind. I don't want to get into that.
Okay.
Jess was looking for cheese.
I'm looking.
There was
for
a drive-by. There was a drive-by, and the gun misfired. So
Fair enough.
just watch it go by.
When I went to film school, and I have, when I thought I was going to write movies instead of do YouTube, I had this idea of a scene where, look, I grew up in the kind of neighborhood where drive-bys happened, and I had this idea for a scene where these two guys are like biking by on like a BMX or something. One guy's sitting on the back with a shotgun, and And this guy's getting out of a car and say, "Yo, bro!" The guy turns and like do this and blow themselves right off the bike, land on their asses, and then chaos ensues. So
Have you
whenever
brought?
someone says drive by, I think of that scene that I'm never going to get to write.
Well, now you
There's
have to
more
ride it.
to it.
Just ride it.
Yeah.
I just always envisioned a drive-by in Canada. The minute you said that, as somebody throwing poutine at somebody else out a window.
That'd be the best drive by ever. We do have crime up here.
Yeah.
Oh, oh.
Damn it! You missed.
Drive by again.
Yeah, go buy some more.
Ian the Weblore says that 48-volt systems are starting to mature and become common.
They have been pretty common for a long time now, Ian. I mean, like 10 years ago, they were pretty common.
Okay, but like if you're looking to put in a system, like say Sean wants to put in a system, or I want to put in a system, what are we looking for? Like, is a 48-volt system like a certain category that we should look at, or is it just that?
Okay, well here's what it is. Excuse me.
That's what it is. That's what it is. If I don't know, it's that easy.
Okay, you got your panels. Don't quote me because I've been drinking, but you've got your panels, and they're putting out a certain voltage and amperage, right? You got your batteries at another voltage and amperage. You've got your inverter supplying power to your house. You got your charge controller between your panels and your batteries, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is you're taking power from something, converting it into batteries, and then converting it into something else. Now, if you want to like run your whole house on 12 volt, then you got to kind of mix and match everything so that you end up with 12 volts. And the big problem is the bigger the transformer in your inverter or your charge controller, the more money you're going to spend, right? So if in the end you want 120 AC like I have, then taking the voltage and the amperage from your panels through a charge controller to your batteries, you need a smaller transformer to go to 48 volts DC, then come back up to 120 AC, another transformer there as well, right? If you bring it all down to 12 volts, you need a bigger transformer between your solar panels and your battery, and then a bigger transformer between your battery and your 120 AC.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's where the money is. So you're trying to balance all these things: the solar panels, the charge controller, batteries, inverter, and design.
So from everything that I've read and heard, avoid, from people I've talked to, avoid going with the 12-volt system if you can. Go 24 volt, but if you can do it, go 48 volt. Because the 48 volt will be an easier use everything. Like if I'm going to have a well here and I'm going to put a well pump in that thing, a 12-volt system, for whatever reason, it will just suck it dry. No. But a 48-volt system has got more oomph to it. You know what I mean? To get that pump to start. And I don't know how true that is.
Destiny asks exactly what I was just thinking. Like, why do we have to convert? Like, why is there, why are we working about DC and AC and this and that? Like, why couldn't the power coming from the panels, or in my case, Hydro-Quebec or whatever, just be the power used in the house? Why do we have to convert?
Because that's what the power company does before you get the power.
But like, okay, what I'm saying is that Destiny's asking, why don't the panels just give you the power you need for the house? No need for a converter.
Okay, so, well, first of all, you need to put the power into batteries, right? You can't just use it in your house, because otherwise, when it's dark, you get nothing.
Yeah.
Second of all, your house, Destiny, your house uses 120 volts AC. Panels can only put out DC power. They can't do AC. Not until not unless it goes through something, some kind of converter or inverter. So it has, panels putting out DC. So, and then it becomes a teeter totter of, what's the voltage and amperage a panel can put out that kind of makes sense. My 240 watt panels put out, that might not be exactly correct, but it's something like 24 volts and 8 amps. It's a teeter totter of stuff. Like, I mean, maybe it could put out 100 volts at 1 amp, but I'm honestly not sure how they landed on 24 volts and 8 amps. But whatever it is, I mean, could they put out 12 volts? Sure, I guess. 12 volts, 12 volt panels into a 12 volt battery into a 12 volt house. I guess they could do that, but that's not what they're making panels for these days. There's got to be a reason for it. Sorry, did I just kill the conversation?
No, it's just I'm thinking about it, and I'm just like, it seems, oh God, I don't even know how to say this because I don't know anything about this, right? But it seems to me that like AC to DC, 12 volt to this many volts to 48 to this, like every time you convert anything, you lose something, right?
Oh yeah.
And so to me, why doesn't everything just come in at the volts that, like, why isn't it standardized so that your house is using 120, whatever it is? Why doesn't it ever need to convert?
I think the reason for that would be that the panels are pretty simple.
Yes.
Right? There's not much to it. Now, if you want the power from that panel to come directly and power your house without any changes whatsoever, then everything that you normally, so your inverter, your charge controller, and everything would have to be included in the panel. It would all have to be part of that panel.
Why?
Because there's a difference between AC and DC current, alternating current and direct current.
Absolutely. But like, yeah. Even there, right? Sitting here, Hydro-Quebec, right? There's one kind of power that gets converted so that I can use it in my house.
Right.
Why?
But physics. I don't know. That's somebody much smarter than
physics.
Yeah. Somebody much smarter than us figured that out. What was the, so is it Europe that uses DC and we use AC?
It's one or the other.
Yeah. But like, so we use AC. Yeah. Because I know that when I was over in Ireland, their plug outlets are all different than ours are. And I had to buy a special adapter for my cell phone charger just to charge my cell phone.
Yep. Absolutely. I had the same problem in France. 2001.
I mean, believe me, I wish it was that easy, but there's so much to it that, you could watch a million different videos on how to do it, and everybody does it a different way. It seems like it's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, Dennis just popped in to say hi before bed. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis. Good to see you.
But yeah, I know. It's the kind of thing that I can't figure out, and I'm not smart enough to figure it out, so it just frustrates me.
The reason that all houses use AC, and AC is used everywhere, is because it's very low loss of power across transmission lines using AC. Where DC there is a huge loss. That's why all those huge hydro lines you see going, here, there, hydro or whatever, they're all AC.
Well, here they're hydro.
There's very little loss over, and you can use smaller lines for that. Whereas DC, not the same. So that's why. But a solar panel is, as Sean said, very basic. It's just the silicon wafer.
Yeah.
There's positive electrons coming out of it, and negative electrons going out of it, and there you go. There's your power. It's DC. It's just and it's I don't know, it's pretty complicated for.
Well, and I mean, so just to explain how complicated it gets really easy. Okay, so you buy a power inverter,
Yeah.
right? And your power inverter basically regulates your signal. So I have two 12-volt batteries. I have one that runs all my lighting in here, but I have a secondary one that's connected to a 400-watt power inverter.
Okay.
All right. And I use that when I have certain things that I have to charge that I have to plug into an AC outlet. So that brings it up to 120 volts, right?
And you have panels, right?
Yeah, and I've got panels. Yeah. But so that inverter alone, there is modified sine wave and pure sine wave.
Right. Okay.
So if you're using electronics, and I'll just use my finger to give you an example, right? So a modified sine wave would be squares, like a waveform, but squares.
Yeah.
Where a pure sine wave would be, right? In your house, you have a pure sine wave.
Okay.
If you use a modified sine wave or less on an inverter with electronics, there's a real good chance you're going to fry your electronics.
Okay.
So you need to buy a pure sine wave inverter if you're running. Well, I don't know how much it's a big deal now, but I know for a long time, if you're running heavy electronics, they say run it on a pure sine wave inverter. Don't run it on a modified sine wave.
They say that, but I've never actually heard of anybody frying any electronics on a modified.
Neither have I, but I'm not going to risk it.
Especially like laptops, because laptops have their own little power supply. They modify the power themselves, But yeah,
interesting, very interesting, and we're gonna cut it short because it's 11:17, and some of us have to be at work in the morning. Frustratingly, we went from 21 people watching to 25 in the past let's go until 11:30, but then we're really shutting her down.
I gotta go, man. I gotta get up at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh damn! Okay, good night, mister.
I start work at 4 a.m.
All right, have a good
night, John.
Thanks for having me up, guys. I appreciate it. It was fun. Good to chat with you guys.
Problem. Nice to see you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Talk to you guys later on. Bye-bye.
Bye. Work on that cabin.
Definitely. Yeah.
Get it finished. That was way more interesting to me than it might have been to some of the people in the side chat, but I find that stuff fascinating because I have always wondered, why are we switching from AC to DC or vice versa? Or like I get that one of them is very lossy and the other isn't, but what is it in the physics that we're not just creating the non-lossy one and stuff? Anyway.
Yeah.
It's just
there you go.
Such weird stuff. Big Green Moose asks if, Sean, but Sean's gone. If anyone knows of any folks that still live with no electricity. Well, you mean like Mennonites?
To anybody, so no solar, no hydro, no wind, just no electricity. Like the essentially beavers. That's not the word I was looking for. Actually.
No, I was thinking Mennonites, but am I thinking of the right people? Is it Mennonites or is it?
I don't think Mennonites. I think they can still use power tools and stuff, but
can they? So who the hell am I thinking of?
Or is it Amish that I'm thinking of?
Amish. Yeah, maybe it's Amish. It's funny. I love the idea of being off grid, but giving up on electricity all the way would be tough.
I'll tell you what: electricity, running water, beer,
whiskey.
These are essential things.
Agnes says that the standard voltage in England, 230 volts, is higher than in the US, 120, and in Canada it's also 120.
And it's a different hertz.
Yeah,
50 hertz there, 60 hertz here.
So weird. Like, why?
That's a good question. Why is it different there? Damn it.
Like, Is there a benefit to one hertz over the other, or is it just some mathematical constant that if you're at 230 instead of 120, is it 230 that they're at, or 240? It's 230, right? Wait, is it
Well,
240? Because that would be
they say
twice
230,
120.
and they say 120. A lot of people say 110 instead of 120. But the reality is, it depends on how close you are to the transformer station. Is that
Okay.
the word I'm looking for? Like it, because of line loss. If you're near the transformer station, it might be closer to 140 volts. But if you're at the end, you might be closer to like 105.
Hmm.
So there's a range there that your appliances have to deal with. So
Interesting. Okay.
I'm sure it's the same in England, where it's like between 220 and 240 or 250 or something.
Fair. Very interesting.
Thank you. I like to be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, will you stop drinking that tea?
Well, I mean, I'm finished my whiskey, and there's no freaking way I'm touching that beer. Well, I mean, I also have
Whiskey.
water. Excuse me. I don't want to bottle down this. Well, actually, no danger. I'm still there. I just opened this yesterday.
I'm not worried.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I find stuff like that fascinating because it's the kind of thing that I know nothing about. And if I know nothing about something, I'm automatically fascinated. You know. Uh,
We'll be
hold
talking
on a
about the
second.
opposite sex next.
Ian says the hurts. When power generation started, it was competition between AC or DC. But like one
Were
of them
you
is
there for that,
lossy and
Ian?
the other is not. Russell, behave. Country Boy says, Russell, doesn't it come down to AC being more efficient than DC and you can't generate AC power? DC has to be converted. I
I'm pretty sure we just went over that. Yes, AC is way more efficient.
so
And
weird.
it's funny because AC going down transmission lines could be like 500 kilovolts or something like that. And it's got to be converted down and down and down to like 5,000, 5 kilovolts or less, which is why you see those
Huge.
round thingies on
Yeah.
telephone poles just before it goes to a house. More in
Mm-hmm.
rural areas, not in the city. It's all underground in the city. But it's good. Those transformers are converting it down to a thing that a house can use. And sometimes you'll see transformers, and then it leads off to several houses.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, for land's sakes, Rob says,
Rob on the internet wants to play mini putt later.
I love all this ACDC talk. It leaves me thunderstruck. Jeez. Rob.
That is a great song, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Ian the Web Lord says, that was bad. That was a definite dad joke.
That
A head
wasn't
banging dad
bad.
joke, but
That was a good one.
I don't think that Russell's correct on that. But,
I am.
he believes he is. A tea's a good drink, Russell.
No, it's
Keeps you
not.
going.
It's like pee. It's kind of like saying pee is a good drink.
No, but tea does lead to pee, though. Rob on the internet says, I blame the booze tonight. It was good in my head. Fascinating stuff. You having another RC Cola there?
Budweiser.
Your blood.
Oh, are we having another competition, mini putt competition tonight?
Rob says
You
that
guys are
tea
in
is
a
a
good.
great drink. And I agree. I agree. Ain't nobody got what? Ain't nobody got anybody on Brian Johnson. Christy doesn't do caffeine, but she does do whiskey, so that's okay.
So, Jess, what's your next video going to be?
I still have 2 or 3 from my visit out to you because I shot way too much. So even doing my usual 5-1, I've got stuff for a few more episodes.
I'll tell you what. Have you got enough footage for just like after you do your things, your regular videos that you want to do? Have you got enough footage to do like a no talking video of the whole trip?
Maybe.
Like ASMR.
Yeah, so one where I'm
'Cause-
going, chop, chop. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Going. ASMR is on sometimes, if like the day was too rough, ASMR is how I get to sleep. It shuts my brain right off. I don't get the tingles anymore though, and I read somewhere that ASMR is non-addicting because it does stop affecting you at a certain point. But when I was a kid, I used to get tingles. And these days, I don't anymore.
Okay.
But it just shuts the noise down a little bit. I should start an ASMR channel.
Please don't.
Everyone in the side chat suddenly asleep or really weirded out.
Yeah. Anyway, I'd like to see a video at the end. No talking video, just the whole trip.
You think I should just try to edit together the non-talking parts?
Yes,
Yeah.
if those exist. You did a lot of talking.
Yeah, but I could probably edit something together. Christy says, I can't believe Al didn't make it out there. Yeah, but let's not harp on it. Yeah. Well, it's getting to that time of night when Russell will be throwing himself off the deck and Jess will be rolling the cheese wheel back up the stairs. It's been great live, Jess. Bye, y'all. Good night, Destiny.
Good night,
Just
Destiny.
Just imagining Russell going and yeeting off the deck.
That's probably not something I gotta do, but you could probably grab some cheese if you want.
No, we're done in like 2 minutes, dude. So
Yeah, all right.
and then I gotta go to bed, and then I gotta get up, and I gotta do the work. Stupid Wednesdays.
I recommend not doing the work.
Alan says that Mennonites are Amish with light bulbs.
So it's the Amish that don't have electricity?
I gotta use that in conversation at some point over the next year.
Uh-huh.
I know some of the guys from the Alberta Outdoorsman Forum that I used to hang out at. They would shoot coyotes and then take them to the local Mennonites or Amish, whichever it is, to get the skins tanned. It seems like they go to those communities whenever they need certain like really traditional stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgonzola. That's not really I don't have that. I have some basic marble cheddar. I have some oca. I've got a little bit of brie.
I'd go with the brie.
Obviously bocconcini. Get a little bit of feta.
Obviously.
Oh, come on, you need it.
Yeah.
I like to use bocconcini with. I make a salad of bocconcini, the tiny guys, the minis, and like cherry tomatoes and a little bit of basil. Hell yes. Oh, and then like balsamic and olive oil. Vinegar.
Okay, just promise me if you go for the brie, put some jam on it.
I could do that. That works well. You could do like with brie, not all cheeses, but brie works really well with stuff like syrup or jam or jelly. Like You know,
Just jam this time.
just jam. Okay, absolutely. Now Christy wants cheese. That's because cheese is delish. Cheese is life.
I
Cheese
could
is
go for some
life.
cheese.
Yeah.
I've only got mozzarella here, but
Still, you could do a melted brie, baked
I
brie,
don't.
pine nuts with a reduction.
Oh no, wait! I've got something else. I forget what it's called. Oh, I have something else. I forget what that's called too.
Blue cheese, gorgonzola, Edam,
No.
the distinctive Jarlsberg.
I have cream cheese,
Cream cheese. Ah, yes. Okay.
but I also have cottage cheese. Yes,
Cottage cheese also goes very well with either like a syrup, a honey, or a jam in it, by the way, for
that
your
sounded like
breakfast.
fruit.
Yeah, something like that too. That would work. All right, we're at 11:31 and I'm starting to get really sleepy. I'm going to go to bed so I can not suck at work tomorrow. Thanks to Russell for hanging out. Thanks to Sean, although he's gone, for hanging out. Between now and next week, everybody, please be sane, be healthy, be safe, and be kind to one another.
And don't forget to pea soup.
That's it. That's what I was waiting for.